These are the even problems for page 20 and 21. So just a reminder, if you've watched the odd problems, what we're doing when we're evaluating expressions is that we substitute or put the numbers in place of the variables, and then we need to follow the order of operations, which are over here. So for number 2, we have 9 times 4 squared minus 2 times 7 squared. Make sure you realize only the 4 is squared in the first one and only the 7 is squared in the second one. You don't multiply first. So 4 times 2 is 16. 9 times 16 gives me 144. Minus 7 squared is 49. 2 times 49 gives me 98. So 144 minus 98 gives me 46. Number 4, since we already have parentheses around the 8c minus d, I'm not going to put more parentheses in there. 8 times 2 minus negative 4 divided by 2 times negative 4. Now here's the biggest mistake that gets made is most people do the 2 times negative 4 and get negative 8. You cannot do that because in order of operations, we have to work left to right. So the division actually comes before this multiplication. So we need to do this part first. 8 times 2 is 16 minus negative means plus positive. So 16 plus 4 is 20 divided by 2 times negative 4. So if you want to take the parentheses out, it would look like that. So you need to do 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. So it's very important to notice that you need to divide before you multiply in this one. Number 6, when you rewrite it, 2 times the absolute value of negative 5 minus 3 times negative 5 times 4. So again, just rewriting the whole problem, only putting the numbers in place of their variables. So this first part, the absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5. 2 times 5 gives us 10. Bring down the subtraction sign. 3 times negative 5 times 4 gives us negative 60. So 10 minus negative means plus positive 60. So our answer is 70. Number 8. 2/3 times 6 squared minus 5 times 6 plus 8. So we need to do 6 squared, which is 36, and then 2/3 times 36 gives me 24. Bring down the minus sign. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 8. So 24 minus 30 plus 8 gives me 2. Number 10, we have the square root of 3 times 10 minus 14. And you gotta be really careful. Make sure you extend your square root all the way past the 14. I put myself a little line down, a little tail, so I know exactly where it ends. Minus 10 squared plus 10 times 14. Again, if you want to use multiplication signs instead of the parentheses, that's fine. So when you have the square root, you need to do everything underneath of it first. Get down to one number. So 3 times 10 is 30. 30 minus 14 is 16. So I have the square root of 16 minus 10 squared is 100 plus 10 times 14 is 140. Square root of 16 is 4. So 4 minus 100 plus 140. That gives me 44. Number 12. We have 2 to the 4th minus 2 squared times negative 9 squared, all over 2 times 2 minus 2 times negative 9. So lots of 2's, lots of negatives, just need to take things step by step. So first of all, 2 to the 4th is 16 minus 2 squared is 4, negative 9 squared is 81. So 4 times 81 gives me 324. On the bottom, we would have 2 times 2 is 4, minus 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. So really 4 plus 18. So 16 minus 324 gives me negative 308. 4 plus 18 gives me 22. Negative 308 divided by 22 is negative 14. All right, 14 has a lot of parts to it and a lot of exponents. So again, it's important to just take it step by step. Since both of my numbers over here are positive, I'm going to show you how it would look if you don't put the parentheses in. Technically, you really only need the parentheses if you have negative numbers. So 7 squared times, don't forget this is multiplication when they're right next to each other, 2 squared minus 22 over 7 squared minus parentheses 2 to the 3rd plus 5 times 7. Excuse me. So 7 squared is 49, 2 squared is 4, 49 times 4 gives me 196 minus 22. Here we have 7 squared is 49 minus 2 to the 3rd is 8. 5 times 7 is 35, and we're adding those two things together. So 8 plus 35 gives me 43. So this part right here is your 43. 196 minus 22 gives me 174. 49 minus 43 is 6. So 174 divided by 6 is 29. And finally, 16, we have a fraction. So 5 parentheses 1/4 squared. Again, you absolutely have to have parentheses around the 1/4. So if your number's a negative or your number's a fraction to an exponent, you absolutely have to have parentheses. Minus 10 times 1/4 plus 3. This becomes 5 times 1 over 16 minus 10 times 1 over 4 would give you 5 over 2. You do not want to leave it as a mixed number or a decimal. Leave it as an improper fraction, 5 over 2. And then plus 3. So this is just 5 over 16 minus 5 over 2 plus 3. And we do get a fraction of 13 over 16.